Signing on for today's lesson. And our quote for today is gas and light are useful, but don't fall for the combo. Hashtag don't gaslight me. Now, probably everyone watching this video has been gaslighted at some point in their lives. And I guess I can say gaslighted and not gaslit. I grew up hooked on phonics and with conjunction junction, so all the right forms of words and all that stuff. But for the sake of today, we're going to say lighted and not lit. So everyone watching has probably been gaslighted at some point in time in their lives. And you recognize gaslighting when people try to exert some level of control over you with their words. They try to cause you to doubt what you know that you experience. They sometimes try to get you to doubt what you know you heard, like in terms of something, an interaction you may have had with them, and then perhaps you say something to them about it, and they try to convince you that what you thought you experienced really wasn't what you experienced, but oh, they're so sorry that you felt that way. They don't take responsibility for their actions or the role that they played in whatever it was that occurred. Oftentimes, these people, in my opinion, feel inferior, and they're really just trying to exert some level of control over you. And recognize gaslighting for exactly what it is. It's manipulation. People attempting to manipulate your behavior, attempting to manipulate your emotions, attempting to manipulate even conversations. And we've talked about some of that in a couple of the past lessons in terms of how we respond when we're interacting with people and not being moved by their reactions to us. And so when people gaslight you, this is a big part of what they're attempting to do. They may want you to respond a certain way, so they might use certain words and phrases. And in terms of not accepting responsibility for their own behaviors, I've seen a lot of people in abusive relationships that experience a lot of gaslighting. And so the partner says to them, like, if you hadn't done this, then I wouldn't have had to do that. So they somehow make it the fault of the other person rather than accepting responsibility for the role they played. That's an example of gaslighting. That person wants you to now take on the responsibility for something that was done at their hand, something they said, a way they reacted, whatever. They want you to take on responsibility for that, when in actuality, the responsibility was really theirs. So think about, for you, just the relationships that you have, and even things where people say like, oh, well, if you love me, XYZ. If you really cared about me, ABC, whatever. Those are the kinds of phrases that people use to manipulate. So pay attention to your relationships, pay attention to what people are saying to you, and then tune into yourself. Do you find yourself doubting yourself? Like, have an experience, and then after having a conversation, go back and say, well, maybe that wasn't the way I thought it was. So that self-doubt creeps in. Or, well, I thought I heard them say this, but maybe I was wrong. Now you're second guessing yourself. All of that is a part of, or as a result of people gaslighting you. So pay attention to how you're reacting, how you're responding, what comes up for you when you're interacting with other people, and just figure out, like, am I being gaslighted by this person? And if you are, you can make some different decisions. You can choose to walk away from the situation. You can stand on knowing what you know, like, yes, I know what I heard, oh, I know what I saw. What you don't want to do is engage in this constant back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because that just draws you deeper into the cycle with this person, which is really a waste of your time. Because people who gaslight, it's all about their intentions and their motives, and they're really not trying to hear the other side of the story. So don't put a whole lot of energy into dealing with people who are gaslighters. Okay, make sure that you're paying attention to what's happening with you, and then make the decisions that are in your best interest, which a lot of times is just walking away. So that's our lesson for today. Gas and light are useful, but don't fall for the combo. If you find yourself in a situation, just say to that person, hashtag don't gaslight me. In other words, let them know you're not having it. Okay? That's it for today. Not signing off until we do our hashtags. Hashtag life lessons, hashtag words of wisdom, hashtag listen and learn. And again, hashtag don't gaslight me. Now I'm signing off.